Hey guys, this is 18-2. Welcome back to Zoo Tycoon Complete Collection. Today we'll be finishing up the Marine Mania Zoo with the last two animals. So we're gonna open with the... Okay, I should probably explain. The last two animals from Marine Mania do not actually share really anything in common. These are basically the leftovers. That name will make sense in a moment. So, the last two marine animals, not mammals, obviously not mammals, are the green sea turtle and the lion's mane jelly. They like sargassum. They like to eat seagrass, but as far as exhibit foliage goes, they want the sargassum. They want a lot of it, but not that much. And Atlantean rocks. Alright, so the green sea turtle. The green sea turtle, Colonia mitis, doesn't actually have green skin. The green fat deposits beneath the skin give this turtle its name. These turtles travel the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans, primarily in the tropics, using sunlight to help them navigate. They travel to coastal areas to feed and to sandy beaches to lay eggs, sometimes migrating more than 500 miles. The shell of the green sea turtle is colored on top to look like the ocean floor and underneath to look like the sky. This camouflages it against predators from above and below. External scent glands form another defense against predators. The unpleasant scent created by these glands both deters predators and fends off other turtles during the mating season. 3-foot-long, 400-pound animals have very few ways to fight off a predator. Their paddle-like forelimbs each end in a claw, but these are primarily used for digging rather than fighting. Primarily? I have never seen a green turtle try to fight with its claws when it has a much stronger jaw available. Up to a quarter of the green sea turtle population are killed by natural predators each year, not counting those killed by humans. The high mortality rate means that green sea turtles must breed in large numbers to ensure the survival of the species. Females mature at 19 to 20 years of age and mate about every 3 years thereafter. During mating years, a female green sea turtle can lay over 1,000 eggs in 5 to 6 clutches, but very few of these eggs will survive to maturity. When a female has mated and is ready to lay eggs, she will travel to a beach site to nest, usually the same one she selected for her last clutch of eggs. Each female leaves the water, chooses a nesting site, and then digs a pit for the eggs. Once the nest is ready, the turtle will immediately begin laying eggs. A female can lay up to 3 eggs every second. This process can last as long as 20 minutes, but usually takes less time. At this point, the nest may contain over 200 eggs. Once her eggs are laid, the female hides the nest with sand before returning to water. From this point on, her offspring are on their own. Before the eggs hatch, nests are vulnerable to predators, including maggots, ants, vultures, raccoons, skunks, and humans. 30 to 90 days after they are laid, the surviving eggs will hatch. Once all the eggs have hatched, the young turtles will wait for nightfall, dig their way out of the nest, and head for the water. The darkness can't protect them from the many hungry predators awaiting them. Hatchlings racing for the water often fall prey to gulls, rats, herons, feral cats and dogs, and possums. In the water, the young risk being eaten by large fish, sharks, and dolphins. Like all reptiles, sea turtles are cold-blooded. To maintain their body temperature, these animals may leave the water to bask on coral and sand beaches, exposed ledges, and rocks. When no basking place is convenient, turtles will float at the water surface, exposing their carapaces to the sun. Staying warm is very important because sea turtles can be stunned by cold when water drops below 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Cold-stunned turtles can die if they do not warm themselves quickly. Hatchling green sea turtles are omnivorous, but they become mainly herbivores once they reach a weight of about 10 pounds. These juveniles eat plankton and fish eggs while they mature. Adults prefer sea grasses and algae, but still occasionally consume animals such as sponges, jellyfish, worms, snails, bivalves, squid, crabs, fish, and eggs. Whether eating vegetarian or not, green sea turtles prefer to feed in shallow water, entering the depths only to travel. So, some fun facts about green sea turtles. So, turtles are known for being slow. The green sea turtle swims at 35 miles per hour. That's significantly faster than a lot of animals in this zoo. They will live up to 60 years old, and while they do gather for breeding, green sea turtles are mostly solitary creatures. And unfortunately, they are on the endangered list. Because while their rapid reproduction lets them handle natural causes, like the natural predators, normal illnesses, humans hunting green sea turtles, along with, again, the same issues involved with the changing environment that humans cause, has tipped them over the edge, and as of recording this, their population is currently decreasing. Now, they didn't mention what they mentioned what eats sea turtle eggs. They mentioned what hatchlings are eaten by, although they didn't mention ghost crabs, which for some reason were specifically mentioned among crustaceans in the online encyclopedia I looked at. And of course, the fully grown sea turtle is really only eaten by large sharks and orcas, because of course. So, what makes the green sea turtle distinct from other sea turtles, aside from their coloration of their fat, is that they have a serrated jaw, and they only have one pair of what are called prefrontal scales, which are scales in front of the eyes. Most sea turtles have two pairs rather. And a really interesting fact that I found that I just could not pass up. Sea turtles have scales called scute on their fins, and the green sea turtle has one really big scale on each fin. So instead of having like scute plating scales, they just have one scute scale on each fin, and I just find that fascinating. Just because, I mean, normally scales are much smaller. I don't think that name will make sense. But the final animal in this zoo is the lion's mane jellyfish. This one is definitely justified in needing a really, really high wall. And we will get to that in a moment. Let's see, they want clam beds. Oh, sweet, 40K for high quality exhibits. Clam beds. Wait, do they not want rocks? They want less rocks. Okay, good enough. So, the lion's mane jellyfish. Because its tentacles can be over 200 feet long, the lion's mane jellyfish is considered by some to be the world's longest animal. Only considered by some. Like, I mean, their appendages. So I guess you wouldn't necessarily need to make that. But I also feel like when you're measuring the length of an elephant, you're either measuring the tip of the trunk to the tip of the tail, or you're measuring from the feet to the back, where either way you're dealing with appendages. So I feel like this shouldn't be up for debate. Cyana capillita is the scientific name for the lion's mane, which is the world's largest jellyfish. These gigantic invertebrates can be found from the Arctic Circle all the way down to the waters off Florida and Mexico. Though they basically always say stay in Arctic and subarctic waters. Ocean currents will bring them farther down. All jellyfish have three main body parts. A central bell houses the few centralized organs, like a stomach and reproductive system. Like some other invertebrates, jellyfish have no brain. Hanging from the bell of any jellyfish are tentacles which gather food, and 4 oral arms which, in most jellyfish, can deliver a toxin. Should specify the oral arms are arms directly connected to the mouth. Because, yes, jellyfish have mouths. The lion's mane is no exception to delivering a toxin. Its sting is generally not fatal to humans, but is still very painful. Jellyfish hatch as larvae and then develop into polyps. Each polyp attaches itself to the seafloor until it metamorphoses into a medusa, or adult jellyfish. I just really want to know who decided that the fully metamorphosed adult jellyfish is called a medusa. I love it. I just do. I'm a sucker for Greek mythology. Technically, I guess theology as well. The lion's mane jellyfish, like other jellyfish, is made up of 98% water. This is why these invertebrates are transparent. Sure. Yeah, let's go with that. It has more to do with the thinness of the membranes and how the body is structured. That 2% is critical to the structure of lion's mane jelly. We're not half transparent because we're made of half water. Whatever. Despite being transparent, the lion's mane jellyfish is brightly colored, with pink to purple bells, orange to brown arms, and white to clear tentacles. The largest of these animals can have an 8-foot bell with tentacles that are over 200 feet long. So, 8-foot bell. Let's put that in perspective. So, let's assuming you are in a normal size, your average sized house. Look at this. Look at the floor. Look at the ceiling, and make a mental line about a fifth of the way down from the ceiling. From the floor to that point should be around 8 feet. That's their bell. It's 2 feet. Their bell is 2 feet greater in diameter than the average adult human male is tall. And 200 feet long. Think of any given 20-story building. It's roughly that long. So, these tentacles are covered in nematocysts, which are the stinging cells the jellyfish uses to stun its prey. The lion's mane jellyfish feeds on tiny crustaceans, zooplankton, and other kinds of jellyfish, especially moon jellies. The lion's mane jellyfish will also eat any fish that are foolish enough to swim through its tentacles. Because of the poisons in the tentacles of the lion's mane jellyfish, they have few predators. Some fish, especially southern harvestfish and Gulf butterfish, have become resistant to these toxins. These fish can be found nibbling at the bells of giant jellyfish on a regular basis. So, fun facts about lion's mane jelly. The average weight of this behemoth is only 80 pounds. It's this gigantic, jellyfish. Huge, long, stinging tentacles, up to 8-foot diameter bell, and it only weighs 80 pounds on average. According to the sources that I use for these episodes, lion's mane jellyfish are strong swimmers. However, those same encyclopedias also say they can get caught in ocean currents easily. So, yeah. Just due to the fact that they're bigger, of course they're faster than other jellyfish, but doesn't make him a strong swimmer, in my opinion. But what do I know? I'm not a marine biologist or zoologist. Does zoology cover marine biology? I don't know. Now, another really interesting fact I found out about these behemoths, or I guess it's their... Nah, let's go behemoths. They tend to live for about a year. And really funky stuff happens to them after they die. Because they'll get caught up in ocean currents and decompose into this weird sticky goo. I would... If you're interested in what dead jellyfish are like, I would look it up. It is really fascinating how jellyfish basically break down into jelly. The lion's mane jelly is naturally a solitary creature. However, again, because they can get caught up in ocean currents, you can find gigantic clusters of them if they get caught in the current. These are one of the few animals in the marine zoo that has not been evaluated for conservation status because the population is stable enough to not warrant evaluation. When they lay eggs, and the female does lay eggs, they lay about 45,000 eggs, which is, I think, the third highest of all the marine animals in the zoo that I was able to find an actual number for. As far as predators go, they did mention large fish. They did mention, I think they mentioned, yeah, they mentioned the larger fish. Some seabirds will also pick at the lion's mane jelly. Other jellyfish, like other lion's mane jelly, may eat lion's mane jelly. And sea turtles, most sea turtles eat most jellyfish they can get their jaws around. And the important distinguishing feature of the lion's mane jellyfish is that around the membrane, this is not the greatest rendition of them, but they have basically what looks like a mane of tentacles around them. Specifically, they have about 1,200 tentacles, which are divided into 8 tentacle clusters, from which they just grab whatever food they happen across. They can drift and eat, or they can swim and get their tentacles on prey. But yeah, that is it for animals from Marine Mania. Okay, not completely true. The last one is special and will be handled in a special zoo. So I think next time we'll probably start on the actual Zoo Tycoon Animals, again divided up by category. Unless somebody has a better suggestion, in which case leave it down in the comments. Speaking of which, please do remember to like or dislike and or comment and or subscribe as the algorithm demands. But for now, this has been Team 2, and I will see you guys next time.